Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Nhl Dfs slate for Tuesday, February 28th. And we got ourselves a 10-game slate here tonight, where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays. And then we'll wrap up today's video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals. Now, we got one of these games coming in with an implied total of 7 goals. 4 games coming in at 6.5 goals, 4 games coming in at 6 goals even, and then just 1 game there coming in at 5.5 goals. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. And then here's a schedule update for the remainder of this week. Do have an Nhl Dfs video coming out for you guys Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. Now, initially when I was building this spreadsheet last night, I actually put that Buffalo Sabres first line as the initial line stack, Thompson centering Skin and Quinn. But then I thought to myself, well, that first line for the Ottawa Senators dominated last night. I have the same matchup again here tonight, and I'm probably going to have exposure to them once again. Why not highlight them on my video? So I did pivot to that. You can see I got Thompson below as well as Jack Quinn. We will talk about that Buffalo Sabres matchup, but I'm going right back to Stützle, Tkachuk, and Giroux here tonight. I did talk about Batherson on the right wing yesterday, but it ultimately ended up being Giroux, and these three dominated in this game last night against Detroit. They got Detroit at home again here tonight. They combined for 3 goals, 3 assists, 16 shots on net last night, while producing a 59% Corsi and 84% expected goals percentage. You just take a look here. Ottawa really dominated this game in general. This is moneypuck.com. You can see once we get to 1,000 simulations here, Ottawa wins that game about 81% of the time. So they dominated play last night, and they might not dominate in this fashion here tonight, but they obviously can. And then another line stack I like here tonight is that first line for the Arizona Coyotes. We got Hayton centering Keller and Schmaltz. This line here has been clicking since the All-Star break, having combined for 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points in their last 9 games, and have a solid matchup to expand on that here tonight at home against the Chicago Blackhawks, who are not only playing on back-to-back nights on the road after losing last night to the Anaheim Ducks, but this has been one of the worst defensive teams in the NHL all year long, having allowed 3.58 goals per game, the 7th most in the NHL. Plus, I love the correlation with these three here, being that all play up on the #1 power play. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. And don't forget, I am running that Discord channel too, and I want to give a shout out to everyone in the Discord. You know, some days, for example, yesterday, I was really busy at work, really didn't have any time to spend in the Discord, but once I finally got in there, I saw a bunch of people talking hockey and talking prize picks. Really love to see that. People helping each other out. That's exactly what the Discord is for. So if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. And the first guy I got there is Tage Thompson to the Buffalo Sabres, who I name dropped earlier. I do like that first line tonight. Thompson centering Skin and Quinn. If you want to stack them up, I'll have exposure to that line for sure. Good matchup at home here tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that struggled defensively all year long, allowing 3.68 goals per game, the 3rd most in the NHL, and their penalty kill has not been very good either, just sitting at a 77% rate. Now, Thompson's been great this year. He's got 40 goals, 39 assists, 79 points in 58 games. You can see here in his last 10, 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points, averaging around 3.5 shots on net per game. And let's not forget, Thompson absolutely decimated this Columbus team the last time they played, where he racked up 5 goals, 1 assist, 6 points, 9 shots on net, and 70 DraftKings points. I then got Braden Point there of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I like the matchup for the Lightning at home tonight against the Florida Panthers, who are pretty beat up right now, missing their top 2 centers in Alexander Barkov and Sam Bennett. So for starters, I really like that. And plus, this Florida team has really struggled defensively this year. That's truly been the case here over the past 10 days as well, allowing 4 goals per game with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 50% rate. So we could really target this Tampa Bay power play if we want wanted to, where you're going to see point play. He also plays up on that number 1 power play, and he's been solid here over his past 10 games. 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points, averaging around 2.5, 3 shots on net per game. And if we take a look at his home and road splits this year, he's been fantastic at home, racking up 23 goals, 19 assists, 42 points in 29 games. Next is Evgeny Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins, who tends to get overlooked from time to time, largely due to Crosby being the number 1 center and captain of that Penguins team, but that's not to say that DraftKings should overlook his pricing, and they kind of do. I like this price here, $6,100. If we look at this 10-game slate here and look at all the centers, Malkin is the 8th highest scoring center on this slate, but he's being priced as the 13th highest center, so we're kind of getting a discount on him. I love the way he's played here as of late. You can see in his past 10 games, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points, averaging around 3 shots on net per game. And I'm looking at this Nashville team here right now. Top to bottom, I'm really not all that threatened by it. For starters, they're missing their number 1 center in Ryan Johansson. Sounds like he's out for the remainder of the year. Still missing their number 1 winger in Philip Forsberg. And they've been sellers here at the trade deadline. Just traded away Tanner Jeannot. So I don't want to say they're vulnerable by any means, but there's really not a lot of excitement going on with this Predators team either. I then got Logan Couture there of the San Jose Sharks, sitting in a good matchup at home tonight against the Montreal Canadiens, a team that's allowed 3.63 goals per game this season, the 5th most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 74% rate. I kind of like doing a little mini stack with Couture and Barabanov. You could even add in Carlson on the blue line if you wanted to, with all 3 of those guys playing up on the number 1 power play. Couture's been solid here as of late, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points in his past 10 games, averaging around 2.5 shots on net per game. And I highlighted him yesterday, but I'm going back to him as well. Max Domi of the Chicago Blackhawks is playing some really good hockey right now. I don't love the back-to-back road games, but at $4,700, he is worth noting. Now, this matchup against Arizona, for starters, is a good one. A team that's allowed 3.53 goals per game this season, 8th most in the NHL, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 75% rate. And that Arizona team is not afraid to take penalties, having taken the 3rd most minor penalties in the NHL this season. You take a look here at Max Domi's last 7 games, he's averaging 2 points per game, with 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points, and I like the way he's been shooting the puck as well. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, and I'm highlighting 3 guys who all have similar roles, playing up on their team's number 1 power play. All of these guys play on the penalty kill too, and just really log solid minutes in general. First guy I got there is Victor Hedman of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Great matchup at home here tonight against the Florida Panthers, who are again missing their top 2 centers in Barkov and Bennett. And this is a team that's really struggled on the penalty kill this year, just hitting at a 74.2% rate. That's the 6th worst in the NHL, and no other team has taken more minor penalties than the Florida Panthers this year. Thomas Chabot, we saw the matchup last night against Detroit. Detroit has been mediocre on the penalty kill this year, hitting at a 78% rate. That is the 15th worst, right around the mid-pack. We then got Owen Power of the Buffalo Sabres. Now, do note, Rasmus Dahlin is day-to-day. He very well could play tonight, but if he doesn't, we'll see power play up on the number 1 power play. Really like that at this price here, $4,100. And then Juuso Valimaki there of the Arizona Coyotes. His price continues to climb up, but rightfully so, as he remains on that number 1 power play and has played some solid hockey and has that good matchup against Chicago tonight. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there for you in Vasilevsky and Gustafsson. I do prefer to spend up at the goalie position here tonight. First with Vasi of the Tampa Bay Lightning, he's been very good here in his past 10 games with a 7-2-1 record. His goals allowed average could look better at 2.58, but you can see his save percentage is solid at .923, averaging around 19 DraftKings points per game. And again, being that there's no Barkov and Bennett for the Florida Panthers tonight, that makes me like the Tampa Bay Lightning in general. And then Philip Gustafsson of the Minnesota Wild, although his record might not show it at 15-8-3, he has been one of the best goalies in the NHL this year, with a goals allowed average of 2.11 and a save percentage of .928, and the Minnesota Wild in general are one of the best defensive teams, especially when they play at home. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. Now, I just highlighted Andre Vasilevsky, and again, I do like the Tampa Bay Lightning in general tonight, but I thought it was worth noting this little mini stack here of Luosterainen and Duclair of the Florida Panthers, being that they're so expensive here at $3,800. Both play on that second line in number 2 power power play. So there's a lot of offensive upside here between these two, a lot of strong correlation at a very good price. Now, Luosterainen here, he's got 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points in his last 10 games. Duclair just returned from the IR, played his first game actually just the other day. He actually played 17 minutes in that game. I was a little surprised to see that. He had 1 assist, 4 shots on net, and did rack up 11 DraftKings points. Now, obviously, if I'm playing these two, not going to play Vasilevsky in the same lineup, but I just wanted to highlight that, considering how affordable it was and the offensive upside that they do offer. And then Jack Quinn there of the Buffalo Sabres was recently promoted to that first line, being that Tuck is on the IR. Plays on that number 2 power play as well. He had 2 assists in his first game up on that first line. He's got 3 goals, 4 assists here, 7 points in his last 10 games. So I really like that price, especially considering the matchup. But I do got some honorable mentions here as well, so take a look at those guys too. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. A lot of even numbers here as I record this morning. For those of you who know me, I do not like the even numbers on prize picks, but we don't even have the full set of picks out as I record here. You can see there's no goalie props. So like I always do, I'll go through these individually, do my research, and then let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video. I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. And don't forget, I am posting those picks in my Discord channel too. And if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Now, for those of you who have not signed up for prize picks yet, but you want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now, you don't have to put $100 in if you don't want to. If you want to put in 50, they'll match that 50. You want to put in 20, they'll match that 20. Again, they will match anything up to $100 as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 10-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.